Mr. Speaker, thank you. The problem is not with those who legitimately and lawfully use these types of firearms. The problem we have is with those who don't. And I want to say to the last speaker, Richard Prosser, who I do have a lot of respect for, and incidentally enjoyed your speech on my gang bill so very much more than this one, but I know that it's good to know that in many areas of law and order we have much in common. What I did want to say to you, Mr. Prosser, is that we accept that we must have rules around firearms. I think nobody would say we should go back and get rid of licences and let there be a free-for-all. And for legitimate users of firearms, I think there's wide acceptance that there is the need to balance public safety and restrictions on controls around these weapons so that where others would misuse them, we can give guarantees and certainty through our police to the public against unreasonable impositions of legitimate users and the rules around that. And I know that before the committee, so very many people, hunters, firearms users, enthusiasts came and had concerns with this legislation. But as a hunter and a firearm licence holder myself, I do say to the Minister that I think she has the balance about right. It's never easy when you need to change the settings from a policy point of view, but I do believe in this instance that we've been able to balance this, the need for public safety, the concern that's raised, legitimate concern by our police around the misuse of firearms, and therefore additional regulation upon legitimate firearms licence holders and people that own these guns, and do so lawfully within the bounds of the law so that we can have some common sense out there. Mr. Prosser said that there are lots of bad laws that good people don't adhere to. Actually, I would challenge that. There are a lot of bad laws in this country. There was 9 years of lawmaking. A hell of a lot of that was quite bad before we came to government. But the vast majority of good people adhere to those laws. And indeed, whether you agree with the law or not, if this Parliament has passed it, even if others would say it's a bad law, if you're a responsible citizen, you must adhere to that law. You must be law-abiding, and if you disagree with it, you have the ability to come to this Parliament and keep making the case. So the challenge we have today is that there are so many good laws that are ignored by bad people, and that's where we have the problem. To my knowledge, I'm not sure there are many cases where these weapons that we're talking about have been used to commit a crime by the lawfully licensed owner. There will be some, I'm sure, but very, very few. So our challenge is not around those who are adhering to the law at the moment, who are doing everything that this Parliament says that they must. It's about those that have complete disregard for the law and put the lives of our police officers, our ambulance officers and the general public at risk. So as a hunter, I say that whilst I might have, if I was to own one of these weapons, go and upgrade some of my security and so on, actually I take my responsibility seriously. I don't believe that I have an absolute right to hold a firearms licence. I accept the rules that this Parliament has put in place, and if therefore that means that there is an additional cost to me because of the type of recreation I choose, if that means that therefore the public is safer, then I will spend that little bit of extra money. I will go and get that licence upgraded as I need to, so that I can be insured and more secure in the knowledge that when I don't have that weapon in my control, that nobody else easily can take it and misuse it, and that as a result of my inaction there could be a horrible loss of life. And I'll finish here just by saying, Mr. Speaker, that I am a great advocate for all those who legitimately and lawfully own firearms of this country, and I will continue to come to this Parliament to fight for their rights. But they must realise that if they want to have the ability to continue with their recreational pursuits, that they have a greater obligation to other New Zealanders than most other people to make sure that they continue to act lawfully and that their firearms are secure. And therefore I say again to this Minister, I think this is a very good balance she's found in the legislation. And actually there was one thing I wanted to recognise, a change that was asked for my representatives of New Zealand firearms community, so they could have an ongoing say in relation to the use of firearms and restrictions and the way they'll be controlled. And the committee actually recognised this, said it was a good idea, and I know the police have already already started to actively explore the establishment of an arms advisory forum. That's a place to continue that debate, not to take the legislation away and think about it a bit more deeply over Christmas, to bring in the legitimate users, sit them down with the police, find a way that we can continue this to make sure that we don't put unfair restraint upon what they're trying to do, but we continue to allow the police to target the scumbags who are out there causing grief for everybody and harming so many New Zealanders, and therefore getting in the way of those that have legitimate reasons to use these guns. So thank you.
The questioner, Dr. Jiang Yang.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker.